All right, this one's pretty impromptu, but the reality is pretty much everything I record is always impromptu. We're going to try an angle where you're only seeing my back. Very majestic against this cool sunset landscape. In any case. What? Man, what have I got to say? I've never got anything to say. Let's talk about video games this time. I'm in my jams because I'm lazy. Recently, a friend bequeathed me Helldivers 2. Now, it's been about what? A year, 2 years now since its proper release? And I mean, it's gone through some controversies, of course. Uh, and I've played about around 100 hours of it. You know, that's enough to critique something, I think. Because as I've played it, I've kind of come to this conclusion. And I sort of hate it because it's not a game I want to knock on. It's not a game I want to hate, but it's a game that still doesn't do things correctly. And so one of those big problems is the topic we'll talk about here is comparing the pricing of the game to what you really do spend on it. It's what is it? I think it's 50 American or 50 Canadian. I don't know. It's the point is it's it's in that lukewarm area of AAA budget game, something like that. Even though the developers are not really AAA, but they did get backed by Sony, so that kind of inflicts them a bit. And the thing is, it would be an okay asking price if there wasn't more to buy. But as with any other game released in this day and age with this kind of corporate backing, and some that even aren't, it's like the gear you get in the game, because it's, for anyone not aware of it, it's a third person shooter. You equip yourself with guns and equipment. You will unlock more as you play the game. Difficulties get higher and higher, so you want that extra equipment. Well, they've released a lot of stuff as the game has aged. Every few months or so, there tends to be a little extra pack of goodies to play with. The quality in it ranges vastly, but the main issue is just it gets advertised under the guise that it's like, well, you can slowly unlock the main progression of the game as you play, but these other pieces that you want to get, these ones that we're releasing after the game has come out now, you have the option to spend money, real life money, to unlock it. And it's like, man, I'm so tired of this shit. I'm so tired of just every little tidbit in a game is always about, well, how much more money can we milk out of the players? Because there's a lot of issues that come out of this. The first main issue is the design of it. Is that mechanically they want you to be strained in the game, right? It's just like the what is it? They don't call it free economics, but it's like freakonomics or something about mobile games and stuff, right? They did a big one about Pokemon Go. I thought it was actually pretty well done. The whole point is that the game is inherently designed in a way to make you stressed out as you're playing it, to hamper your ability to progress in the game and make it more tantalizing to just spend real money to get what you want. And it's like, great, fun. I really just wanted to spend absolutely more money to enjoy the game that I was trying to enjoy to begin with. It gets frustrating. It gets irritating. It doesn't help that the second problem here is like they didn't even do it in the right way, because what you do is you can spend the money or the currency you get in game. You can obtain the currency required to get the items eventually, right? You can just pay for shortcuts, whatever that means. But the problem stemming with it is that you spend that currency to unlock the privilege of being to unlock the equipment behind it. If that sounds weird to you, it's because it really is. It's really detrimental. You buy these items. They're called war bonds. That's what they're called. You buy these war bonds in separate packages. Each one's got a whole thing you can unlock with a different currency that you get in the game. Yeah, there's like 7 currencies in the game. Don't get me started. You get that, and then you now have the privilege of spending that secondary currency to unlock the items in that again. And it's like, okay, so it's really layered for like no good reason. I don't even know why they really did it. They probably would have made more money if they just let you get the stuff immediately, but I guess they chose not to. It's very weird. I'm not sure what their thought on was it. I guess they're trying to pretend to respect the player base that puts in time and effort to do it, but the reality is it's still smack in the head. Having any monetary shortcuts in your game at all, period, is an insult to the players who don't want to do it, because they shouldn't have to be. They shouldn't have to do it. And they shouldn't have to be pressured, and they damn well should not have to be tempted to do it. That's you purposely making a flawed system just to get more money. It's like, we're not really playing a game here, are we? Imagine if you're playing chess and it's like, well, tell you what, you're having a bad game. I'll let you buy another pawn for $5. I mean, you don't really want another pawn, but the point is that gives you an advantage, even if it's the weakest unit in the whole game, right? If 2 players are going up against each other because you don't have it in any other way, yeah, someone's going to buy that pawn. So I hate this because it mars design of games so much. And part of that problem is that it made me come to the conclusion. I didn't want to have to come to the conclusion through Helldivers, but there was nothing else to it. It's one of those games that's kind of trying to, it's trying to pass itself off as being something that's like, well, you work hard enough, you can still get the gear. And it's like, yeah, but you purposely made it harder to get the gear so that I would spend money on you more. You don't have to do that. You can just charge a flat price for the game, which it already does. And if that's not enough to survive on, then you need to reprioritize how you're developing your game, because that should be enough to survive on. You shouldn't need all these extra these stupid. I'm not even tidbits, not even bells and whistles. None of that's appropriate. You shouldn't be needing all these scams in your game to make a profit. That shouldn't work. So it made me angry because Helldivers makes me realize that what a lot of games really are these days is that they're really storefronts masquerading as games. The content in the game itself is not very vast, and it's over the time that it's existed, it's really only received like kind of lukewarm additions and improvements to it over the course of its life. When this is all going on, it's just kind of like, what am I really paying for? I'm not even really paying for anything worthwhile. I'm sort of just tricking myself into thinking that I am paying for something worthwhile, and you're really not. I guarantee you 100%, I would never have bought this game on my own. Not even if it was like on sale. I don't think I would do it, because after experiencing what this whole monetary shit of theirs, I was just kind of like, you go play League of Legends. Seriously, Riot did irrevocable, irreparable damage to the economy of games. They weren't the first to make, microtransactions and DLCs and all that stuff, but holy hell did League of Legends just hammer it down. And I find League to be very much the same kind of, I'm not sure what the term for calling it would be, right? But it's a storefront. It's a storefront first and a game second. And it's also in that hierarchy. That's exactly how it works. They want to find ways of making money first, and then they want to develop the game second to it, because that's what's necessary. Go look at all the gacha stuff that's out there, right? All the gacha games of any variety, that's what it is firstly. It's first, how can we get them to spend more money? And then secondly, we'll worry about the game afterwards. It doesn't really matter how much attention or care you put to it that you want to distinguish it. It's like, well, we do have monetary transactions in our games, and we really do genuinely care about the and this is it. They'll say the product. We do really care about the product we're giving you guys. And it's like, same shit, different day, man. If you ever have a means of obtaining some kind of advantage in the game, or unlocking some kind of content, I hate that word, content. Unlocking some kind of content in the game for outside monetary value, then you've done it. It's you're caring more about the money than you are about the game most of the time. I say most of the time, so it's like, well, what's the caveat here? It's like, okay, older days, expansion packs. Expansion packs were a lot more loaded. I think one of the best ones I can think about is Dungeon Siege. Dungeon Siege had an amazing expansion pack. Legends of Orana, was that it? I think it was such a good expansion pack. The whole point was it you could actually buy the expansion pack as it was, and it contained the base game with it. Genius standalone expansion pack. That's insane. You get the original game and you get the added content with it, right? Other games have done that, right? You get Warcraft 3 did that with the battle chest. That was huge. Battle chest was a huge seller. Man, that thing kept popping up everywhere, even years after the release. Like, I saw it well into the mid 2010s. It was still being sold fresh at stores. People liked it that much, man. Talk about a successful selling. Because at least at that point, that stuff didn't feel like I was being cheated, and I don't think I was being cheated. I get it. Everybody's going to have their paradigm. They're going to have their limits of, well, I'm okay for paying for this, but not for paying for this. But I'm like, look at it from an objective viewpoint and tell me that there's a proper value in any of this. Pay me $10 plus tax or whatever to unlock like one gun, one other gun, and then a couple of skins. And it's like, I guess people just, they jerk it to it and they want to do it. It's not cool. Games as a service is one of the most poisonous concepts I think I've ever heard of. It works for MMOs and pretty much those exclusively. It tends not to work well for a lot of other concepts, and especially not when the marring of it just happens with all this storefront stuff first, game second. Hi-Res Studios is a wonderful example of guys that were making cool games that transformed into, well, I'm sorry, like, Tribes is on the third iteration now. Poor Global Agenda. Global Agenda transformed into just a cash shop marketplace when the game started to die out. That game did not have to die out. They just didn't do anything with it. It was so disappointing. That's all Hi-Res does. They make a game for about a year, then they completely ditch it and make another one, and they just repeat the cycle because they were like, oh, ever since Tribes, they realized, oh, we can just charge people more money and they'll just pay it, even if they won't play the game. That's what I hate. Talk with your wallet, not with your mouth. That's what a lot of what an economy is built around. But when you get people who just spend money more and more, it doesn't really matter. Their wallet talks bigger than mine. It sucks. Yeah, if I ever got around to making a game, I can assure you, I would never allow the opportunity to spend more money for stuff unless I was like 159 fucking % sure it actually felt reasonable and validated. And even just talking about it kind of makes me cringe. I don't feel like I can do it. I'm sure I had more to talk on this, but it's getting dark. There's people moving around. I don't want to disturb them. Everybody keeps coming up to my spot now. They didn't used to, and now they do. I've tried filming videos like 5 times for the past 2 months. I keep bumping into people. Recording in public is very cringy. Well, that's all I got.